Earlier, Jacob sat down with Saundra Pelletier to talk about her drive to give a voice to the invisible with WomanCare Global.
Our guest tonight is a published author and leadership mentor who spent 20 years working for Big Pharma before putting her corporate expertise to work for charity. Today, she's the CEO of WomanCare Global, which provides access to reproductive health solutions for women and girls all over the world. Please welcome Saundra Pelletier. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. WomanCare Global provides access to reproductive health for women in developing countries. What are some of the ways that you actually do that?
Well, we actually work through what we call a value chain. So it's not enough just to be able to get these products approved in the countries, and it's also not enough to get them in the warehouses. We really focus on every step of what I call the unsexiness of the supply chain. So we make sure that the products get in the markets, and then we pull them through so they get into the urban and the rural areas, into the hands of the women that need them most.
When we're talking about products, specifically, what are we talking about?
We're talking about contraception. We believe that every woman, no matter who she is and no matter where she lives, should choose when and if and how often she has children. So every child is a wanted child. So it's about a portfolio of choice. So a short-term method, a long-term method, or a permanent method.
You're operating in over 100 different countries, is my understanding. That's insane. What are some of the biggest issues from your perspective after being in all these countries, seeing all these countries that women face outside the United States?
It's cultural and religious barriers, and I have to be honest, in a lot of these places, it's the belief system of the decision makers, which are the men, you know, really preventing these women and girls to get access. And so that's—
I hate to say that, we see some of that here in our own country.
You know what, we absolutely do. You're 100% right. And women will make the right choices if they're given access to those choices. So it's really about making sure that women and girls get the education. They know that contraception is safe and is effective, and they can have children in the future, but it's also getting over those hurdles around cultural beliefs as well.
I know it's also important to you to keep these young women around the world in school so that they learn about what you and I are talking about today. How are you doing that?
We have this program where we're launching a campaign called Project Dignity, and when girls start their period, their menses, oftentimes they don't have access to sanitary protection and they have to drop out of school. And when girls know that school will change their life, they'll go to very extreme methods in order to get money to buy sanitary protection. So for every time a woman in the United States buys a soft cup, which is a reusable menstrual cup, we're going to donate one to a girl in a developing country.
And it works. I mean, I think tell us, you know, the results. How are you seeing the results?
So we're just actually launching the campaign now. So Project Dignity we're now in our getting ready to launch November 1st. So we're really, really excited. So we really feel that we're going to be able to donate 50,000 reusable cups to girls in developing markets, so it's exciting.
It's an incredible number. You left the corporate world to do what you're doing now. What was the inspiration to sort of leave and make this career change?
Well, I say that sometimes what we chooses us. So I grew up in this place called Caribou, Maine. And in my town, girls were told they had two choices: who they married and how many children they were going to have. And, you know, my mom had 13 brothers and sisters, so a very rural, meager surrounding. And so she really pushed me to be the voice for the invisible. And after my private sector career, which was 20 years, I had an organized mental breakdown, or an early midlife crisis, I say. And I said, you know, I really want to be able to use all these skills for the mission of serving women and girls, not just for the shareholders. And so it was a great opportunity to make a big leap of faith.
What are some of the things that people can do on their own to help women in developing countries?
I really believe that girls and women are the answer to sustainable change. So I think that investing in education, organizations that care about education, and then one thing that I want to say, I think people feel like they have to have a lot of money to make a difference. $20 will give a woman access to 1 year of contraception. So for us, you know, at WomanCare Global, a small contribution can make a really big difference, and I think it's important for people to know that.
It's so important, the work that you're doing, and we appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And if you want to learn more about Project Dignity and helping women around the world, head over to womancareglobal.org.
After the break, Jacob wraps up his 8 days in the sharing economy with his new friend, the TaskRabbit.